Okay, hey guys, I hope all of you are doing fine. So, guys, the originally planned session was to be a live one, but then due to certain reasons, I'm recording this session. And I hope you enjoyed this session. So, what you have to do, this is the part one of two, three sessions that I've planned on idioms and phrases. So basically, what you have to do, you have to go through this session. You will find some very important idioms and phrases that we use in English language, and you can expect some of these idioms and phrases to actually come in the exam. Okay, so guys, the plan is to prepare for SNAP and to prepare for NMAT and other exams like ZAC, the other OMATs. And I think this session will be very useful because these are some very common phrases that get asked in many of these management exams. Okay. So guys, let's get started. Okay, so something about myself. My name is Himanshu. I did my MA and MPhil in English literature. I have been teaching for the last 11 years, and I had a 99.74 percentile on the CAT verbal section. Okay, so guys, this is the agenda. We discuss what idioms and phrases are. Then we look at the strategy of preparation, and then we also look at some of the common idioms, and then I pick up these idioms one by one with an example. Okay, so guys, I hope you are following us on YouTube and Telegram channel. If you're not doing, I would request you to do the same. Okay, so guys, you have a lot of content coming up on the YouTube channel, and we have a lot of content on the Telegram channel as well. So it would be a good idea if you follow us on the YouTube and Telegram. Okay, so guys, this is something that's very important. Now, now those of you who have not downloaded the Unacademy app, I would really expect you to download the Unacademy app. Once you download the Unacademy app in order to access the free content, तो जो भी आपका free content है ठीक है, in order to access the free content you have to guys use this code HSync. Now this is the code that will give you access to all the free content. Okay, so that means the free content of mathematics, the free content of logic, the free content of English, and obviously you can use my free content by using this code HSync. So as you log in, the app will ask for a referral code. Okay, and you can use this referral code HSync so that you can access that content. Second thing guys is this that if anyone who is planning for the CAT 2021, ठीक है, so आप में से जिन लोगों का एक long term plan है, you're planning to prepare for CAT 2021. So the 1 year plan is of 17,500 rupees. Okay, so this is the paid plan. Now, guys, the benefit of the plus program or the paid plan is the fact that you get a lot of exclusive content. Okay, so the content that is specifically meant to gear you towards the plan of cracking apps. Okay, so guys, this plan that is the paid plan where you get the sessions of all the top faculties would otherwise cost you 17,500 rupees, but once you use my code, okay, the price of the plan goes down by 10% and it will cost you 15,750 rupees. Okay, so those of you who are really serious about your preparation and you have a long-term strategy in mind, you are looking for a 1 year plan. Okay, so guys, this is the code that you can use. Okay, HSync, and once you use this code, your 1 year subscription rate reduces by 10% and the plan becomes very economical on a monthly basis, and 15,750 is all you pay for the next 1 year. Okay, so guys, in this amount you can actually access all the faculties, all the sessions of all the faculties. So you have access to all the premium content, and the fact that we have more than 100 teachers on board in the CAT domain itself is a very big guarantee that you would get your value for money, because you have a lot of choice. Okay, so you can study from any teacher of your choice, and like obviously you have plethora of options. So you can choose your set of teachers and then follow them so that you get the best content. Otherwise, if you are looking at accessing or trying the app, okay, you can always use my HSync code, and this code is the referral code that will also give you access to the free content. Okay, that is available, and you can always check out the free content. I have a lot of free content, and a lot of you are already following me on the Unacademy app. So anyone who has not followed, you can follow me on the Unacademy app, and like you can use this code so that you get the discount. Okay, so guys, that was about the code. So starting with the session, what's a idiom and what's a phrase? तो सबसे पहले तो हम लोग ये समझ लेते हैं कि what is the difference between an idiom and a phrase. Now, Phrase is nothing but a group of words that is considered a conceptual unit in the English language. So you have a group of words, and this group of words acts as a conceptual unit, and these group of words have a literal meaning which matches with the meaning that we derive from the words. Whereas in the case of idioms, the literal meaning is not that much applicable. It's always the figurative meaning or the understood meaning that is more important. Now, most of the questions that we see in the competitive exams are from idioms. Okay, so where we find that it's not the literal meaning of the words that is important, but the non-literal meaning or the figurative meaning. So it becomes very important for us to actually read, understand those idioms, because you will never be able to make sense of the idiom just by looking at the words. Okay, because if you read the words, obviously there would be like some literal meaning of the words, but then as I've already said that the idioms don't really go by the literal meaning, it's always the figurative meaning. So 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 obviously it's impossible for you to just look at the idiom and tell what this idiom means. Okay, so you will have an idiom, you will have four choices, you have to judge which choice matches with the meaning of the idiom. So guys, one of the most important pillars of the strategy is to actually select the idiom so that you can master the most important ones. Now there are many idioms in English language, right? Okay, so obviously you are not planning to do all the idioms. Okay, our plan is to first complete those idioms that have the maximum importance, okay, and have the maximum probability of being asked in the competitive exams, right? So guys, with that thing in mind, I've prepared this session, and I want you people to go through all the idioms that I discussed. Okay, this will give you a part of all those important idioms, okay, which you can expect in the competitive exam, and then there would be further sessions on the idioms, and you watch those sessions as well. So you will have all the important idioms in place, and it will ensure that at least the important ones don't go wrong, right? तो यहाँ पे जो idioms हम discuss करेंगे वो सारे important idioms हैं, और वही problem होती है that we don't exactly know which idiom is important, which idiom is not that important. Okay, so I think like I would be able to help you out in that situation. Okay, because like these presentations of mine, okay, if you actually go through it, you will find a collection of important idioms, and you can expect some of these idioms to come in the actual exam. Okay, so guys, first idiom देखते हैं. Let's have a look at the first idiom. Okay, so an arm and a leg meaning. Now, when you say something cost me an arm and a leg, it means it cost you a lot of money. So, guys, this idiom comes from the American history. Okay, the Second World War. Now, if you look at the origin of this idiom, the origin of the idiom was something like this: that the soldiers who went in the Second World War. Okay, so the soldiers who went in the World War, they paid a heavy price. Okay, so many of them lost their limbs. ठीक है, so बहुत सारे लोगों का जो limbs थी, ठीक है, उन्होंने lost कर दिया. And because they lost their limbs in the war, obviously they ended up paying a very heavy price for the war. So when you say you paid a heavy price, okay, instead of saying you paid a heavy price, you can also say this thing cost you an arm and a leg. Now in today's context, we use this idiom to mean something that cost you a lot of money. ठीक है, आपको उस चीज के लिए बहुत ज्यादा पैसा चाहिए. Okay, for example, a resort is a very luxurious one, but it will cost you a lot of money. Instead of saying the resort is a luxurious one, it will cost you a lot of money. You can say it will cost you an arm and a leg. It will cost you an arm and a leg. Right. Okay. So it's the best cruise in the world, but it will cost you an arm and a leg. Okay. So you can see in this example, it's the best cruise in the world, but it will cost you an arm and a leg. That means that it will cost you a lot of money. You will have to shell out a lot of money. Okay. Barking up the wrong tree. Okay. So guys, what does this idiom mean? Barking up the wrong tree. Now, a lot of times what happens that we don't exactly know the problem, the real problem, and we accuse the wrong person, or we target the the wrong thing, and because we don't exactly know what is the problem, we don't know who to blame. So when you're barking up the wrong tree, you're actually looking in the wrong direction. Okay, you're actually looking in the wrong direction. For example, you don't know exactly what is creating the problem, or what is the reason why the things are not getting done, and then you start moving in a certain direction assuming that okay, so maybe this is the reason. But then you realize after some time that you are barking up the wrong tree. That means you're looking in the wrong direction, or maybe you're accusing the wrong person, or you're blaming the wrong person. So guys, just have a look at this example. He did not commit the crime, he was barking up the wrong tree. ठीक है, तो एक पर्सन की बात हो रही है, उसने वो काम किया ही नहीं है, but then because Obviously you don't know who did it, so now you are blaming him, but you're barking up the wrong tree. Why you're barking up the wrong tree? Because he is not the person who's responsible for the wrong doing. ठीक है, तो अगर कोई ऐसी सिचुएशन होती है जहाँ पे आप नहीं जानते कि गलती किससे हुई है या किसी प्रॉब्लम का क्या रीजन है, and you start looking in some direction which is like obviously not the right direction to go. Okay, so then the idiom is the barking up the wrong tree. Okay, beat around the bush. Now, guys, I think we have all heard of this term circumlocution. Okay, so what happens when you talk about diplomatic people? When you talk about people who want to avoid a certain contentious issue, okay, what they do? This just talking. They just start talking senseless things. Okay, they just like avoid things. They make evasive remarks, and they don't give you the exact answer. They don't give you what you're asking for. So beating around the bush means that you don't target the main issue, you don't answer the main question or what is being asked, you actually go and indulge in circumlocution or you give evasive replies. ठीक है, तो आप क्या करते हो कि या तो आप इस चीज को अवॉइड करना चाहते हो, ठीक है, इफ यू आर बार्किंग अप द रॉन्ग ट्री, लेट्स से अ डिप्लोमेटिक पर्सन इज ट्राइंग टू अवॉइड द इशू, तो वो क्या करेगा, वो इधर उधर की बातें करेगा, he would indulge in circumlocution, he would talk in circles, or he would do evasive talks. That means he would not come to the answer, or he would not answer the question. Now this is something that you see a lot of times with politicians. ठीक है, तो politicians से आप कोई question पूछो, कोई सवाल पूछो, तो politicians कभी भी उस चीज का एक straight forward reply नहीं देंगे. ठीक है, they would never be candid, they would never be frank, they would never be forthright in the replies, and they keep beating around the bush. Look at the example, guys. Tell me what the problem is. Stop beating around the bush. Okay, तो सिचुएशन क्या है कि भाई आप मुझे बताओ कि प्रॉब्लम क्या है, इधर उधर की बातें मत करो, don't indulge in evasive talks. Okay, tell me the real thing, right? Okay, don't count your chickens before the eggs have hatched. Okay, so guys, this is a very important idiom and an interesting one. Okay, so so guys, just look at the literal meaning of the idiom. Don't count your chickens before the eggs have hatched. ठीक है, अभी एग्स हैच नहीं हुए और आपने चिकन्स को काउंट करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. ठीक है, सो व्हाट डज इट मीन? इट मीन्स दैट यू स्टार्टेड प्लानिंग फॉर समथिंग इवन बिफोर द थिंग हैज हैपेंड. ठीक है, आपका प्लान बनना स्टार्ट हो गया कि फ्यूचर में आप क्या करने वाले हो, हालांकि जिस चीज की बेसिस पे वो प्लान बन रहा है, ठीक है, वो चीज अभी हुई नहीं है. ओके, सो डोंट मेक प्लान्स फॉर समथिंग दैट माइट नॉट हैपन. सो डोंट काउंट योर चिकन बिफोर दे हैच. एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं. लेट अस से there's a person who is preparing for IAS, or let's say there's a student who is preparing for MBA. Now we all know that MBAs get paid well, okay, and they earn a lot of money. Uh, so let's assume that this person starts spending money. Okay, he takes a big loan from a bank. He buys himself a good car. Okay, and the reason why he is doing all this is because he assumes that he would obviously get selected for the good college, and like he would make a good package and all that. So what would people say? Okay, they will say that don't count your chickens before the egg have hatched, eggs have hatched. मतलब ये हुआ कि यार अभी आपका सिलेक्शन हुआ नहीं है, अभी आप एमबीए हुए नहीं हो, ठीक है, अभी आपने कॉलेज से एजुकेशन पूरी की नहीं है, तो why are you spending money right now? Okay, you should wait for the results to come. You should wait till you get the job. Okay, so don't start spending money and don't start planning things. Okay, even before the real thing has actually happened, right? ठीक है, तो ऐसा भी कई लोग करते हैं. They start counting their chickens before the eggs have hatched. Okay, so they start doing things, they start planning, they start spending money before the real event. Okay, so which is like obviously not the right way to go. Every cloud has a silver lining. Okay, so guys, what is a silver lining? Silver lining का देखो मीनिंग क्या होता है. Silver lining means to be optimistic. ठीक है, to be optimistic. Now when I say every cloud has a silver lining, okay, that means कि situation कितनी भी negative हो, कुछ ना कुछ तो उसमें positive होता ही है. ठीक है, every cloud has a silver lining, right? Okay, so be optimistic even in the most dire circumstances. Be optimistic even when the situations are not very good. Okay, so that is what this idiom means. Okay, a pretty easy idiom. Okay, look at the example. I'm sorry your business is going badly, but remember every cloud has silver lining. तो क्या मीनिंग हुआ कि मुझे पता है कि आपका बिजनेस अच्छा नहीं जा रहा, लेकिन एक चीज हमेशा ध्यान रखो कि कोई भी सिचुएशन हो, कितनी भी खराब हो, Okay, like it may be like a very pessimistic scenario, but still there would be something good that would come out of that situation. Do we all see that even when the things are not going fine, there's always something good about the bad situations as well. Okay, so that something good is basically the silver lining. तो कुछ ना कुछ यार उस सिचुएशन में ऐसा होगा जो आपको शायद आगे फायदा कर दे, है ना? So that is like every cloud has a silver lining. Hear it through the grapevine. ठीक है, अब देखो यार ये वर्ड ग्रेपवाइन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ग्रेपवाइन, व्हाट्स अ ग्रेपवाइन? नाउ grapevine is like informal information. Okay, the sort of information that you get when people pass it on. Okay, so it's like in the offices when you see like there's an information that is conveyed by the management to the employees, but then there's a lot of information that gets passed on from employee to employee. Okay, now that is grapevine. हिंदी में मुझे कहते हैं सुनी सुनाई बातें. ठीक है, so when you hear like some piece of information from someone, then you pass that information to someone else, and in this way this information keeps on passing. Now no one can actually check the veracity of the information. No one knows exactly which part of the information or which piece of the information is correct and which part is incorrect, but then the information is still passed on from person to person. तो यार इस idiom का देखो मीनिंग क्या होता है? To hear something through the grapevine means that you are hearing it from someone. You don't know the authenticity of the information, but then this is something that has been passed on from person to person. Okay, so it may be a rumor, it may be something that is genuine. Okay, but then we don't know and we can't verify. Okay, so look at this example. I heard through the grapevine that she's pregnant. Okay, क्या meaning हुआ इसका? That she has not told you that she's pregnant, but then you have heard from people that she's pregnant. Okay, so very commonly used idiom. ठीक है, और बहुत यूज़ होता है, ठीक है? इसका बेसिकली मीनिंग आई थिंक समझ में आ गया होगा, तो आप किसी चीज़ से कहीं सुनी बातें होती हैं, कहीं सुना है आपने, है ना? लाइक एंड पास इट ऑन टू सम, राइट? ओके, वेरी कॉमन. जंप ऑन द बैंडवैगन. नाउ गाइस, व्हेन यू लुक एट थिंग्स, देयर इज ऑलवेज समथिंग इन ट्रेंड, ठीक है? तो हर टाइम में कुछ ना कुछ ट्रेंड में चल रहा होता है. और लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल बिटकॉइन्स वर इन ट्रेंड, राइट? ओके, एंड पीपल हु इन्वेस्टेड इन बिटकॉइन्स वर मेकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. या कोई न्यू क्या कह सकते हैं अपन, कोई न्यू मूवी प्लेटफॉर्म आता है, सो दैट इज इन ट्रेंड. ओके, कोई नया इन्वेस्टमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी आता है, दैट इज इन ट्रेंड. so when you join the trend, when you become a part of the trend, that is when we say you jumped on the bandwagon. Okay, so imagine it like this. Let's say you hear it like every day, like okay, people are investing in like bitcoin and like they're making a lot of money. तो आपने कहा कि चलो let's jump on the bandwagon and let me also get some bitcoins and like invest money in that. So that's jumping the bandwagon. Jumping the bandwagon simply means that you join the trend, you become a part of the trend. Okay, so सब लोग ये चीज कर रहे हैं तो चलो हम भी करते हैं. So that is jumping the bandwagon. Okay, example बहुत clear है. Let's have a look at the example. So many people are playing that game that I might as well jump on the bandwagon and check it out. Okay, so what does it mean? That when so many people are playing this game, okay, maybe it's good. So let me also play this game and let's see for myself, okay, how this game works out to be. Okay, and he jumps on the bandwagon. Very common, very popular idiom. Let sleeping dogs lie. ठीक है, अब देखो मीनिंग क्या हुआ. अगर कोई, अब इसको लिटरल मीनिंग देखोगे तो क्या होगा कि भाई कोई डॉग सो रहा है तो उसको सोने दो. ठीक है. And why do we do that? Obviously because we don't want any trouble, right? So when I say let sleeping dogs lie, it means that you leave something alone because it might cause some trouble. तो यार कोई चीज ऐसी है, कोई सिचुएशन ऐसी जहाँ पे आपको लगता है यार कोई प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है, तो सिचुएशन जैसी आपने उसको वैसा का वैसा छोड़ दिया. ठीक है, so like you have left the situation as it is. You don't do anything, right? Okay, look at the example. I thought I would ask him if he wanted to pay, if he wanted me to pay him back right away, but then I decided to let the sleeping dogs lie. ठीक है, तो एक पर्सन की बात हो रही है, उसको लगा कि चलो यार पूछ लेते हैं कि भाई तुम्हें अभी पैसे चाहिए क्या, कि maybe he has borrowed money from that person some time back, and then like obviously he was expecting कि यार मैं पूछ लूं या पूछूं या नहीं पूछूं. ठीक है, and then he decided कि यार नहीं ठीक है, like I should not ask because maybe अगर पूछूंगा तो उसे बुरा लग जाए या कोई परेशानी हो जाए या कोई like there might be a like some sort of what you can say contentious issue. Okay, कि कुछ ना कुछ हो सकता है कि उसे बुरा लग गया या कुछ और प्रॉब्लम आ गई, तो यार ठीक है छोड़ो उसको, है ना, नहीं पूछना. So when you say let sleeping dogs lie, it simply means you don't do something You leave something because you think that doing that thing might cause some problem or trouble. Okay, okay. So I think that's a pretty easy idiom to make sense of. Method in the madness. Okay, so guys, method in the madness का meaning क्या होता है? Certain things might look crazy, but then even those crazy things have some purpose behind them. Okay, so we look at a lot of businessmen. Okay, so we look at this like uh, we look at a lot of people. Okay, like even Donald Trump had a method in the madness. Okay, for that matter, even like the owner of Virgin Atlantic, like he keeps on doing a lot of crazy things. And we realize, like we think that okay, what is the sense? Okay, why is he doing all these things? Okay, Richard Branson. ठीक है, तो हमें लगता है कि यार क्या फायदा, लेकिन हमें रियलाइज होता है कि यार नहीं, उससे उसकी एडवर्टाइजिंग हो रही है. He's advertising himself, right? And because he's getting advertised, obviously the brand is becoming popular. So sometimes we look at things and we think it's crazy, and we think that it's senseless, and we think that it's absurd. Okay, it's ludicrous. But then we realize नहीं यार, इसमें भी कोई कोई ना कोई तरीका होगा, इसमें भी कोई ना कोई purpose होगा. So method in madness is simply that when certain things look crazy, it does not mean that they're actually senseless or crazy. There may be some reason for that, right? There may be some benefit of that. So look at the example. What I'm doing might seem strange, but there's a method in my madness. ठीक है, तो इसका क्या मीनिंग हुआ? द मीनिंग हुआ कि भाई जो चीज मैं कर रहा हूँ, अभी हो सकता है कि तुम्हें लगे कि भाई इट्स नॉट मेकिंग एनी सेंस, बट देन यू विल लेटर रियलाइज दैट ओके देयर वाज सम पर्पस, देयर वाज सम रीजन फॉर इट, एंड देयर वाज अ मेथड इन द मैडनेस. Okay, off the cuff. Now, guys, we have all heard of these terms: impromptu, extempore, okay, spontaneous, on the spot. This idiom means the same thing. कोई चीज आप बिना तैयारी के करते हो. You're doing something without preparation, right? You're doing it spontaneously. Okay, you are asked to give a speech. You are asked to make a remark. Okay, you do it instantaneously. ठीक है, आपने उसकी कोई तैयारी नहीं की. आप कहीं पे गए, आपसे किसी ने आपका कमेंट पूछा, and then you spontaneously reply, and sometimes you realize that okay, the spontaneous reply was like not that good. Okay, and maybe like it's sometimes like it's taken in the good manner. लेकिन ऐसा होता है बहुत बार कि भी हमसे कोई चीज पूछता है तो हम लोग बिना सोचे समझे या बिना तैयारी के उस चीज की रिप्लाई करते हैं या कुछ बोलते हैं. That is what spontaneous is. That is what impromptu is, right? Okay, we have all heard of this word impromptu. Then we have this word improvise. So when you improvise something, again, that is something that you do without preparation. Okay, so you have like words like improvise, extempore. Okay, so yeah, all these situations they target or talk about a scenario where you do something without preparation. You do it on the spot. On the spot आप वो चीज करते हो, spontaneously करते हो. ठीक है, और उसके पहले आप उस चीज को ना प्रिपेयर या करके या उसकी कोई प्री मेडिटेटेड या लाइक थॉटफुल स्ट्रैटेजी या कोई थॉटफुल आपने उसके लिए कुछ किया नहीं होता. लाइक इट्स स्पॉन्टेनियस ऑन द स्पॉट. ओके, सो गाइस लुक एट दिस एग्जांपल. शी हैज अ रेपुटेशन ऑफ हैंडलिंग ऑफ द कफ इंटरव्यूज वेरी वेल. तो क्या मीनिंग हुआ? लाइक शी इज स्मार्ट, शी इज obviously very intelligent and smart, and she can handle on the spot remarks, take on the spot interview questions, which some people might not, right? ठीक है, कुछ लोग नहीं हैंडल कर पाते ऑन दी स्पॉट कोई क्वेश्चन आप उनसे पूछ लो, दे डोंट नो एग्जैक्टली हाउ टू हैंडल इट, बट देन maybe like she was handling it off the cuff. Okay, that means she was handling it in a very nice manner without preparation. Okay, so that is what off the cuff is. That is without preparation or spontaneous. So very common idiom. Okay. Take something with a grain pinch of salt. Okay, so guys, we use this idiom very often. It's a very cliched idiom, I would say. Okay, like it's used in many situations. क्या मीनिंग होता है? When you take something with a grain or pinch of salt, it means that you cannot take the information on the face value. Okay, you should not believe it entirely. There's always some doubt about the accuracy of the information. Like for example, you hear celebrities making a lot of claims, but we all know that these claims are not valid, right? Okay, there are a lot of holier than thou claims that are made by celebrities, by movie stars, but we all realize that these pieces of information that they present to us are obviously manipulated. Okay, they're obviously better versions of what they actually do, and we should take them with a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt means कि आप उसको ना पूरा मत मानो. हो सकता है उसमें थोड़ा बहुत कुछ सही हो, but like there's always some doubt about the accuracy of the information. So whenever you say take this with a pinch of salt, matlab don't believe it on the face value. Don't take it on the face value. Okay, like don't just accept the information as true. Okay, there is a very good chance that there is an error, or the accuracy of the information is doubtful. Okay, a very popular idiom again. Wear many hats. Wear many hats. Take care. Now it does not mean that you're literally wearing many hats. Okay, it simply means that you're handling different type of tasks. अब मैं इसका एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल देता हूँ आपको, जैसे स्मॉल कंपनीज होती हैं, स्मॉल कंपनी स्टार्टअप्स होती हैं, ठीक है। नाउ इन अ बिग कंपनी एवरी पर्सन एवरी एम्प्लॉय हैज अ डेजिग्नेटेड रोल, ठीक है, सबको पता होता है कि यार मुझे क्या काम करना है। स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर क्या होता है, स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर व्हाट हैपेंस दैट द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज आर नॉट दैट क्लियर कट because they have very few employees, and because the number of employees is very limited. Okay, every employee has to do multiple jobs, and now you can say that okay, in a small company or in a startup, you find that an employee has to wear many hats. Okay, so you can look at the example as well. We have such a small number of employees that one is often supposed to wear many hats. तो मीनिंग ऑब्वियसली यहाँ पे समझ में आ रहा है हमें कि यार हमारे पास एम्प्लॉइज ही कम है, तो एक ही एम्प्लॉय को अलग अलग तरह के काम हैंडल करने पड़ते हैं, लाइक द सेम एम्प्लॉय इज लाइक वेयरिंग डिफरेंट हैट्स। ओके, सो टू वेयर मेनी हैट्स मीन to do a variety of jobs or to handle like a variety of roles, and that is what wearing many hats is. Okay, why keep a dog and bark for yourself? Okay, so guys, again, you can make sense of this idiom in a literal manner, and then you can try to figure out the meaning of the idiom by yourself. So देखो, when you have a dog, obviously dog does the barking, so you will not bark for yourself. Why do you keep a dog? You keep a dog so that you can scare others, you can protect yourself, and if you keep a dog and you bark yourself, it literally means that you are doing the job of the dog. So why have you kept the dog in the first place, right? ठीक है, तो आपने अगर कोई चीज किसी पर्पस के लिए खरीदी या रखी, and then you keep doing the thing, okay, without utilizing or using the resource that you have got for yourself, that is when you use this idiom, why keep a dog and bark for yourself। ठीक है, एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल हमारे पास है। Now there are many people who are not that technically sound. Okay, they have all the devices. They have a cell phone, they have a laptop, they have a computer, but then they never do their job on the computer or the laptop. Okay, they still do it manually. They write notes, they take down the notes and all those in that book or copy that they have. ठीक है, तो आपने फिर लैपटॉप और वो सेल फोन और वो बाकी सारी चीजें क्यों खरीदी? Okay, obviously because people sometimes they're not comfortable, so they keep a dog and then still they bark for themselves. Okay, look at the example. My sister has a printer, but she continues to write notes manually. Why keep a dog and bark for yourself? तो मीनिंग समझ में आ गया होगा। ठीक है, आपने प्रिंटर खरीद लिया। प्रिंटर का पर्पस क्या होता है कि आप नोट्स को प्रिंट कर लो, जो भी आप टेक्स्ट प्रिंट करना चाहते हो। लेकिन फिर भी आप क्या कर रहे हो? आप सारी चीज़ों को अभी भी हाथ से ही लिख रहे हो। तो अगर आप अभी भी चीज़ों को हाथ से ही लिख रहे हो, तो यू आर कीपिंग अ डॉग एंड लाइक यू आर बार्किंग फॉर योरसेल्फ, राइट? Okay, so when you have something as a resource, why don't you use that resource? Okay, why you keep doing the same thing yourself, right? Okay, so guys, again, very common sensical, I would say. Yeah, worth one salt. When you're competent in something, and when you're good in whatever your job or your role is, your profession is, okay, that is when we say that this person is worth his salt. Okay, so for example, Akshay Kumar is worth his salt because he has proven himself time and again in a variety of movies. So he's worth his salt. That means he's a competent person in his profession. बहुत यूज करते हैं idiom हम, ठीक है। Look at this example. She deserves respect as she's totally worth her salt. ठीक है। So why, like she deserves respect? Why? Because she is a worthy, competent person. ठीक है। So is she like she's good in his profession? So she deserves respect. So that is what this idiom means. Someone who is worth his salt. Low hanging fruit. Okay. काफी पॉपुलर है। देखो, कभी भी कोई काम होता है तो हम उसमें सबसे ईज़ी काम पहले करते हैं, ठीक है? क्योंकि वो जो ईज़ी वाला काम होता है वो लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट होता है, ठीक है? अब देखो इसको ऐसे समझना, लेट्स से यू वांट टू प्लक सम फ्रूट्स लाइक है ना, यू वांट टू गेट सम फ्रूट्स फ्रॉम द ट्री, तो आप कौन सा वाला फ्रूट सबसे पहले तोड़ लोगे, जो सबसे नीचे है? ऑब्वियसली दी फ्रूट्स दैट आर लाइक हायर अप, इट्स डिफिकल्ट टू गेट देम, राइट? ओके, बट देन you can always like very easily take the low hanging fruits. ठीक है, अब उसको किसी सिचुएशन में अप्लाई करते हैं. Let us say you like you are writing a test. Okay, let's say you are writing any competitive exam. So you do the easy wale questions सबसे पहले, right? Because they're low hanging fruits, they're easy to manage. Okay, for example, in context of SNAP and other exams, you will find that questions based on vocabulary and grammar and questions like fill in the blanks, etc. Okay, they're like low hanging fruit. Like most people can manage to do them without much effort. Okay, but then there can be some questions that are very difficult to manage. Okay, there can be some questions of higher maths that are very difficult. So the guys, the idea of low hanging fruit is that something that can be easily attained. जिसको अपना बहुत easily कर लो. Okay, and you can easily take advantage of that thing. Okay, look at the example. What the present government has done on the economic front is plucking of low hanging fruit by and large. तो क्या मीनिंग हुआ? इकोनॉमिक फ्रंट पे आपने कोई बहुत मैसिव या कोई बहुत बड़ा डिसीजन नहीं लिया. यू आर जस्ट टेकिंग स्मॉल स्मॉल स्टेप्स दैट आर वेरी इजी टू मैनेज. So that is what low hanging fruit is, to do the easier parts, because like they are easy to manage, they're easy to do, and like anyone can manage to do that. So that's a low hanging fruit. Okay, something that can be easily done or easily reached. Okay, a chip on your shoulder. Okay, now this is a good idiom. Now what is the meaning of this idiom? So you hold a grudge against something or against someone. Okay, and this is something that happened in the past. So guys, sometimes people don't let go of the things that happened in the past. Okay, we generally use this idiom to hold a grudge against someone, or to have a chip on your shoulder. Matlab, you are always upset, or you have some like some grudges about something that happened in the past. Okay, for example, if I say, let's say, um, he has had a chip on his shoulder ever since he didn't get the promotion he expected. Okay, तो क्या मीनिंग हुआ? ओके, कि उसको प्रमोशन नहीं मिला, तो मैनेजमेंट के अगेंस्ट या ऑफिस के अगेंस्ट या वहाँ पे जो भी टॉप लोग होंगे उनके अगेंस्ट में उसका ग्रजेस हैं कि यार मुझे प्रमोशन क्यों नहीं दिया. ओके, सो ही हैज अ चिप ऑन हिज शोल्डर. ओके, एवर सिंस he did not get the promotion he thought he deserved. Okay, that is like being upset for something that has happened in the past. Okay, very important. A dime a dozen. So guys, this is an idiom that again has an American origin. So the dime was first minted in 1796. Okay, and in the year 1800 in America, you can get chickens and apples a dime a dozen. That means कि आप एक टाइम दोगे तो आपको 12 apples मिल जाएंगे. अब देखो यार, इस ईडीएम का ना ओरिजिनली मीनिंग तो होता था समथिंग दैट इज वैल्यू फॉर मनी. ओके, ऑब्वियसली इफ यू आर गेटिंग अ डाइम अ डजन, दैट मींस 12 मिल रहा है आपको एक डाइम. सस्ता है, बहुत सस्ता है, वैल्यू फॉर मनी. बट विद टाइम नाउ इट मीन्स समथिंग दैट इज वेरी चीप, something that is commodity. So when you want to say that something is very cheap or something that is commoditized, nowadays you use this idiom a dime a dozen, which originally used to mean वेरी वैल्यू फॉर मनी. अभी आजकल इसका एक नेगेटिव कनोटेशन आ गया, इसका मतलब हो गया कोई चीज जो बहुत सस्ती है, समथिंग दैट इज लाइक कमोडिटी. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल टुडे इफ यू गो टू द मार्केट, you can let's say, okay, if I have to take an example, let's talk about something that's very cheap, and you can get it a dime a dozen. ठीक है, तो जैसे आपने कहा कि भाई लाइक नाउ द कॉम्पैक्ट डिस्क हैव बिकम वेरी चीप. ओके, कॉम्पैक्ट डिस्क एक टाइम तो बहुत महंगी आती थी, लाइक नाउ बिकॉज दे आर आउट ऑफ ट्रेंड. Okay, so you can say that now if you go to the market, you can get the DVDs and the CDs a dime a dozen, because like no one is paying money for them, right? Okay, so you can get them a dime a dozen. मतलब बहुत सस्ते में आपको बहुत सारी मिल जाएगी. A piece of cake. So guys, when something is a piece of cake, it's very easily done, right? Let's say you are good in something, and doing that thing is a piece of cake for you. It simply means that you can easily manage to do that thing. Okay, for example, let us say you're very good with maths, so solving problems of maths is a piece of cake for you. Okay, it might not be a piece of cake for someone else, but because you are very good in that, so this task is easily accomplished by you. So it's a piece of cake for you. बहुत easy idiom है. Yeah, I hope you might have heard this idiom. A steal. Now, what is a bargain? When I say uh, like I got this deal in the supermarket and it was a steal. I got this very like, you know, like for example, I was getting a 20% cash back on my stuff which I bought on Amazon and it was a steal. ठीक है, तो बहुत बार गाइस क्या होता है ना कि अपने को ना बहुत अच्छी डील मिल जाती है, क्योंकि वी गेट अ वेरी गुड बार्गेन. नाउ गाइस, बार्गेन इज अ नाउन एज वेल एज अ वर्ब. ठीक है, सो मैं यहाँ पे वर्ब फॉर्म की बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं यहाँ पे नाउन फॉर्म की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो व्हेन यू गेट अ बार्गेन और व्हेन यू गेट अ वेरी गुड ऑफर, दैट्स अ स्टील. Okay, a steal means that something that is very value for money, something that is very inexpensive, and something you will call a bargain. That means a very good offer. Okay, so that is what this idiom means. I hope you understood this. And next to grind. So guys, this is an important one, and I think some of you might not have heard of this. तो मुझे explain करने दो एक बार क्या होता है. ठीक है, so guys, इसका meaning होता है to have an ulterior motive or a selfish reason to do something. Now we all know that not everyone is genuine when he or she approaches you to help you. Sometimes people have that hidden agenda, and they might not tell you that they do have some profit in helping you, but at the back of their mind, okay, they do have that, like that thought process. So you can look at a lot of situations and you will find that the people have an axe to grind. Okay, जब आपकी कोई हेल्प करता है, जब आपको कोई आके आपकी मदद करता है, sometimes you realize that they always have some sort of purpose at mind. Okay, maybe उनका शायद purpose आपको उस time पे clear नहीं हो, but later on you realize that okay, they have an axe to grind. Okay, so when you have an axe to grind, there's always a hidden reason. There's always a selfish motive. There's always an ulterior motive to whatever you do. Okay, it might not be very obvious, but it's always there in the background. Let me give you a very nice example. Okay, look at America. Now, Americans would get into a lot of situations. Americans would would ostensibly make people believe that okay, they're helping certain countries. Okay, they're helping the country to stabilize or to establish democracy. But then later you realize that America always has an extra grind. That means there is always some sort of profit. There's always some sort of selfish reason or motive why Americans get into a situation. Okay, so when America claims that it is helping us, a certain country like Libya, to become a democratic nation or a democratic country, okay, and promotes the value of democracy, the reality is that it's like it always have has an X to grind. That means कि कुछ ना कुछ का फायदा है, ठीक है, maybe like they're going to get oil from that country or whatever it is. Okay, so that's an X to grind. That means a selfish motive, and it happens a lot. An eye wash. So, guys, what is an eye wash? An eye wash is a pretension, something that is just a show off, but not for real. Okay. तो कोई चीज है जो आप सिर्फ दिखाने के लिए करते हो, ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, द लेटेस्ट ऑफर गिवन बाय द कंपनी टू द शेयर होल्डर्स इज नथिंग बट एन आई वॉश. Okay, because it wants to avoid any further scrutiny. So the company is doing it just to fool the people. Okay, so when something is done as an eye wash, it means that it's intended just to fool the people. It's not for real. Okay, so a lot of times you find that some people, some companies, they indulge in such things. Okay, like offers, discounts, which are nothing but an eye wash, because it's the pretension, and later on you realize the real thing. ओके, तो अगर कोई चीज आई वॉश है तो इसका मतलब वो चीज उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम के लिए बस एक प्रिटेंशन है, एक दिखावा है, एंड दिस इज नॉट फॉर रियल. ओके, द थिंग्स विल चेंज विद टाइम. ओके, एंड व्हाट यू सी राइट नाउ इज नथिंग बट अ प्रिटेंशन. ठीक है ना. तो दिस इज अगेन अ वेरी पॉपुलर इडियम दैट वी यूज इन इंग्लिश, राइट. जैसे मैनेजमेंट को एम्प्लॉइज को कन्विंस करना है, ठीक है, मेनी एम्प्लॉइज आर like leaving the company. So what they will do, they will give them a offer, a very lucrative offer कि यार ठीक है, तुम हमारी कंपनी के साथ रह जाओ, हम तुम्हें, अगर तुम 6 months हमारी कंपनी के साथ रह गए तो हम तुम्हें इतना इतना पैसा देंगे. ठीक है, and the employees stick with the company. Okay, now obviously they know that the employees will not leave. Okay, so now they put in some clause or they put in some sort of like some clause in that whole thing कि ठीक है यार पैसे तो मिल जाएंगे 6 months के बाद बट आपको ना ये भी करना पड़ेगा ठीक है like the employees realized that okay no this was not a real thing, it was just an eyewash, okay, it was just a pretension by the company. Achha, back to the drawing board. Okay, back to the drawing board means when things don't go as per plan, you again come back and you start planning from the scratch. Okay, so जब चीजें वर्कआउट नहीं होती हैं तो वापस से आप स्क्रैच से स्टार्ट करते हो. So back to the drawing board means to start from the scratch when the attempts fail and it's the time to start all over. Okay, can't cut the mustard. Okay. Now, what does this idiom mean? Can't cut the mustard. It means that you don't have the potential, you don't have the competence, you don't have what it takes to become successful. Okay, someone who isn't adequate enough to compete or participate. For example, the the company paid a lot of money to hire IIM graduates, but quickly realized that they can't cut the mustard. Okay, so a certain company paid a lot of money to hire like these employees from the employees graduate from IIMs, but because the people who were hired were not very street smart, the company quickly realized they can't cut the mustard. Okay, so when you say that they can't cut the mustard, that means they did not have the competency to succeed. Okay, so they were not like very competent. They were not very good with the with whatever work that they were given. Call a spade a spade. Okay, so when you say call a spade, that simply means to talk straight. Okay, सीधी बात करना, not mincing your words. Okay, that means you indulge in what we can say blunt talk. Okay, you indulge in straightforward talk. You are very frank, you are very candid. Okay, you don't hide things because you feel that the other person might become offended. तो जो सीधी बात होती है ठीक है, आप जो बात बोलने वाली है आप वो बात बोलते हो. You don't mince your words just because you feel that okay someone might feel offended or angry or something of that sort. You say whatever has to be said. ठीक है. For example, if you really want to get successful and you want to get the job done, you have to call a spade a spade. ठीक है, तो अगर आपको किसी इंसान से कोई काम करवाना है और आपको अपनी लाइफ में प्रोफेशन में सक्सेस चाहिए तो आपको सीधी बात करनी पड़ती है. यू हैव टू टॉक स्ट्रेट ओके विदाउट hiding things. Okay, now that is what calling a spade is, right? Okay, for example, the prime minister called a spade. Okay, when he was dealing with his ministers. Okay, so he's indulging a straight talk, straightforward talk. Cut to the chase. Okay, cut to the chase. When you leave out all the unnecessary details and get to the point. ठीक है, हिंदी में कहें तो मुद्दे की बात पे आना. So when you cut to the chase, what happens? You don't talk about things which don't really matter. Leave out those unnecessary details कि ठीक है यार ये तो अब unnecessary है. जो main चीज है आप उस चीज पे आओ. ठीक है, so that is cutting to the chase. So for example, the teacher always insisted that the students should not waste a lot of time on introduction and they should just cut to the chase in the interviews. Okay, so in the interviews, the suggestion was that you should cut to the chase. That means you should tell the interviewer the main points, the main details, rather than getting wasting a lot of time in unnecessary details, introductions, and all that. Okay, so cut to the chase. Cut to the chase means मुद्दे की बात, main चीज. Okay, so guys, this is an important one. Dark horse. ठीक है. अब देखो. There are always people who have unknown potential. हमें नहीं पता होता कि उनका potential है. Sometimes we see after a few years we realize that okay they are so successful. जैसे हमारे schools में कुछ हमारे batchmates होते हैं. हमें लगता है कि अरे यार ठीक है ये भी normal लोग हैं हमारी तरह और maybe like हमसे भी नीचे. And then after 6 7 years 5 years down the line okay you realize that okay these people have become very successful. Then what do you say? You say that he or she was a dark horse. Okay, why dark horse? Because he was a person of unknown potential and now he has become prominent and successful. So who is a dark horse? A dark horse is someone who was believed to be very average and like maybe he or she was unknown. Not many people know about that person, but then that person suddenly becomes very famous, becomes very prominent, becomes very successful. So that person is a dark horse. Okay, so we like we always see such situations where a previously unknown person and no one paid any heed to that person, and suddenly after some years you realize that okay, that person has become very successful. We call that okay, so like he's a dark horse. That means a person was previously unknown with unknown potential and now becomes very prominent, very popular. Okay, devil's advocate, guys. This is one idiom that you will see in a lot of competitive exams. ठीक है? तो who is a devil's advocate? ठीक है? मैं आपको अगर devil's advocate समझाऊंगा तो है ना सबसे अच्छा example होगा. You look at people who take interviews. Okay, people who take interviews, they they act as a devil's advocate. Okay. Now, who is a devil's advocate? A devil's advocate is someone who gives a point of view, who takes a position just for the sake of arguing, so that he can check the strength of the argument of the other person. ठीक है. तो होता क्या है कि जैसे पॉलिटिशियंस का आप इंटरव्यू लेते हो या सेलिब्रिटीज का आप इंटरव्यू लेते हो या किसी भी पर्सन का आप इंटरव्यू लेते हो तो यू हैव टू रियली काउंटर क्वेश्चन द अदर like you know the person who's being interviewed not because you actually believe in that position but you are doing that just that so that you can provoke a discussion, okay, so that you can make the other person prove his point more clearly, okay, in a manner that the audience can understand okay what is the person actually trying to say. You check the strength of the argument of the other person by putting a point of view or an argument that you might not believe in but then you just want to make the discussion more interesting or you want to just check the strength of the argument of the other person. Okay, so that is a devil's advocate. Now, you find devil's advocate in many situations. Okay, for example, a teacher might act as a devil's advocate so that, like, the teacher can group the students in putting forward their arguments. Okay, so how should they debate? How should they put forward their point of view? Right. Similarly, you look at the interviews to make the interview more interesting. Okay, or to make the interview more impressive. A lot of these people who interview the interviewers they act as a devil's advocate and they take positions for the sake of argument without believing in it and it provokes a discussion. ठीक है. तो सपोज जैसे किसी मिनिस्टर का इंटरव्यू हो रहा है उसने कहा कि भाई हम लोगों ने फार्म वर्कर्स को हमने बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प किया है. ठीक है. तो जो जो इंटरव्यूअर है वो बोलेगा कि भाई ठीक है आपने इतना हेल्प किया है तो फिर फार्म वर्कर्स गरीब क्यों है. ठीक है. ओके. तो अब उसने एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एक आर्ग्यूमेंट दिया लेकिन ऐसा नहीं कि भाई उसमें जरूरी नहीं कि वो बिलीव करता हो. ही जस्ट पुटिंग फॉरवर्ड दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू बिकॉज ही वांट्स टू make the argument more interesting and he wants to provoke the discussion so that the minister now comes up with even a stronger reply and the people might enjoy the interview more because they would now know the strength of the argument of the minister. Okay, so that is something that happens a lot of times and you mostly see it in the live shows you in the interviews. Okay, so there's like always the interviewer is like mostly acting as a devil's advocate. Okay, so very interesting idiom. डोंट लुक अ गिफ्ट हॉर्स इन द माउथ. सिंपली मीनिंग ये है कि अगर आपको कोई चीज़ फ्री में मिली है तो उसकी क्वालिटी चेक मत करो. ठीक है. अभी पुराने टाइम्स में क्या होता था ठीक है कि जो हॉर्सेस होते थे ठीक है पुराने टाइम्स में क्या अभी भी आपको हॉर्स की क्वालिटी चेक करनी है तो यू कैन लुक इन द माउथ ऑफ द हॉर्स एंड लाइक काउंट इट्स टीथ एंड काउंटिंग द टीथ गिव्स यू एन आइडिया एज टू हाउ ओल्ड द हॉर्स इज. ठीक है. So when you count the teeth of the horse, you actually know the quality of the horse, the age of the horse. Okay. Idiom क्या है? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, okay, it's actually mouth. Okay, it's not month. Misprinted है. So when you say don't look a gift horse in his mouth, it means that when you have got something for free, now don't check the quality of that free thing. Like obviously it's for free. You have got it as a gift, right? So now you should not go and check the quality of that thing or you should not see how costly it is. Okay, या कितना महंगा है कितना सस्ता है. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, just take it as it is. Okay. When someone is going to give you a gift, don't be ungrateful and start checking the price or the quality of that thing, right? So don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Fabian policy. Now, guys, this is a very popular idiom. Fabian policy. अब देखो Fabian policy refers to the policy of delays and cautions. आप किसी चीज को ना बहुत डिले करते हो strategically. Okay, so this is the policy of strategically delaying something and strategically you are trying to delay and be more cautious and this actually comes from the name of a Roman general, and the name of the Roman general was Quintus Fabius Maximus, and he defeated Hannibal. He defeated Hannibal in the Second Punic War by avoiding decisive contest. ठीक है, तो उसने कोई ऐसा मौका दिया ही नहीं जहाँ पे एक डिसाइसिव कंटेस्ट हो, ठीक है, और वो उस काम को इतना डिले करता रहा, ठीक है ना, उतना डिले करता रहा दैट फाइनली हैनिबल like has to back out, and like Hannibal got defeated, and even without any fight. Okay, just because the other person was able to delay it so much that the whole thing got in such a scenario that like he came out victorious. तो जो फेवियन पॉलिसी होती है ना, वो एक इस तरह की इंटेंशनल पॉलिसी होती है जहाँ आप चीज़ों को बहुत ज़्यादा डिले करते हो। और डिले क्यों करते हो? डिले इसलिए करते हो क्योंकि उसके पीछे आपका एक प्री मेडिटेटेड पर्पस होता है, ठीक है? अब जैसे गवर्नमेंट है, गवर्नमेंट को पता है कि अगर किसी चीज़ में हमने एक डिसीजन ले लिया, तो कई लोग उससे नाराज़ हो जाएँगे। तो कई बार क्या होता है कि गवर्नमेंट ना indulges in Fabian policy, and when it indulges in Fabian policy, there is always a reason for it. Let's talk about reservations. Now, you will find that most people in the government will never make any direct comment on the idea of reservations, whether it's good or bad. Okay, nor they would extend the reservation, nor they would like take back the reservations. And the reason is very simple, because this is such a contentious issue that the best way to handle the issue of reservations is to indulge in Fabian policy. That means you just want to delay it so that you can spend your time in the government, and the next government has to take care of this, because if you take a decision on this, okay, you will always end up at least annoying one of the parties, ठीक है? तो आप क्या करते हो? आप उसको डिले करते हो, आप उसको डिले करते हो, लेकिन वो डिले इंटेंशनल होता है क्योंकि आपको पता है कि डिले करने में ही फायदा है। So that is a policy of delay and caution. So that is what a Fabian policy is. Okay, so we see that the governments indulge in a lot of Fabian policy because there are a lot of things that might make the situation even worse. Okay, so they indulge in Fabian policy. Okay, make no bones about. So when you make no bones about something, it means you directly state the facts. Okay, आप उसको इतना clearly state करते हो, you make it so lucid, so crisp that there's no doubt or objection about it. Okay, so when you make no bones about something, you put forward a proposition on argument that is very clear, very lucid, and there's no doubt or objection. तो ऐसा आप उसको करते हो कि भाई जिसमें आप कोई भी चीज़ छुपा नहीं रहे, जो सच्चाई है वो बता रहे हो, ठीक है? और आप फैक्चुअल डेटा दे रहे हो, ठीक है? एंड लाइक ना देयर आर नो डाउट्स और ऑब्जेक्शंस ऑन दैट डेटा, ओके? सो दैट इज टू मेक नो बोन्स अबाउट something. Okay, to cut somebody some slack. Now that is a very popular idiom. Okay, sometimes you find that the employees will say to their bosses, "Boss, cut me some slack." Okay, so when you say "cut me some slack," or you can find the students saying to the teacher, "Okay, sir, please cut me some slack." Okay, so when you say "please cut me some slack," what does it mean? It means that you don't want the other person to become so critical of you. ठीक है, तो जब आप कहते हो ना like please cut me some slack, it simply means that you are asking the other person to be not so critical. ठीक है, कि आप हर चीज में गलतियां मत निकालो. तो cutting somebody some slack simply means that you expect the other person not to be so critical कि आप हर चीज में गलतियां निकाल रहे हो, हर चीज में आप आपको कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ नजर आ रही है. So obviously you say that okay, don't please cut me some slack. Okay, don't be so critical. Okay, so that is what the meaning of the idiom is. Again, guys, it's a very popular idiom, gets asked in many of the competitive exams. Okay, so this is Damocles sword. Damocles sword. तो यार ये बहुत अच्छा idiom है. ठीक है, Damocles sword or sword of Damocles basically means impending danger. Impending danger. ठीक है. अब impending word का देखो meaning क्या होता है. Impending means something that you cannot avoid, something that is bound to happen. So when you say Damocles sword refers to impending danger, a danger that you cannot avoid. Okay. Now there are certain situations, guys, where there's always a sword hanging on your head. Okay, you always know that okay, this is one thing that can happen anytime, and you're always scared of it. You're always anxious because of that. ठीक है, तो आपको ना हमेशा डर रहता है कि यार ये कभी भी हो सकता है. Impending means something that is bound to happen. Bound to happen. You cannot avoid it. right? It will happen, okay, and it's going to happen in some time future, but you don't know exactly when, okay, but then it's always a risk. So when that is the situation, that is when we use this idiom Damocles sword, ठीक है? मतलब एक ऐसी सिचुएशन, एक ऐसा रिस्क जहां पे कुछ भी गड़बड़ हो सकती है इन द फ्यूचर, और आपको हमेशा एक डर रहता है कि यार ये चीज कब हो जाएगी, ठीक है? सो लाइक यू आर ऑलवेज एंशियस बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इम्पेंडिंग डेंजर, ठीक है? जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, लेट्स से let's talk about the corruption charges that ministers have. Okay, so these ministers are always anxious. They're always under that fear that if these charges get proven right in the court, okay, they will be convicted and sent behind the bars. Okay, so those charges are like Damocles sword. Okay, okay, so उसका आप ऐसे context सोच सकते हो, ठीक है, where this idiom would work, and like uh, like for example, for the minister, the recent proceedings in the court and the proving of charges uh, is like a Damocles sword, and the minister is always under the constant fear of being behind the bars, ठीक है? तो जैसे ही रूलिंग आएगी कोर्ट की, और अगर हमें मतलब उसको कन्विक्ट कर दिया, तो obviously he would be put behind the bars. Okay, so like that's a Damocles sword for that, like, that minister, because he knows that okay, the moment the ruling comes, okay, the moment it is proven that he was the one who took money or bribe, okay, then like he would be proven guilty and he would be put behind the bars. Okay, so that's a Damocles sword. Okay, so guys, these were some of the idioms that we discussed today. Okay, so guys, this was like a very short, brief list of idioms. So I think that these idioms, if you have gone through the session, okay, it would be very helpful for you uh, to basically prepare your syllabus. And I would be coming up with some more sessions like this where I cover up the most important idioms that you might expect in the OMATs, and hopefully that will help you in tackling the exam, because a lot of people have this problem that they cannot manage to learn idioms from the list. Okay, so guys, you can go through all the sessions of idioms that I put, and with every session you will cover a lot of important idioms. Okay, so I think that would be really helpful. Okay, so guys, that would be all for today's session. So I originally intended this to be a live session, but unfortunately I could not do that. Okay, so this is a recorded session, but nonetheless it's still, I hope, is beneficial for you. It adds some value, and you learn something from this session. Okay, so I will meet you in the next session. Till then, okay, that's it for today, and I meet you in the next session. Okay, guys, thank you very much, and see you.